Are you okay, Vegeta? You sound constipated. In a previous video, I claimed that One Piece is the greatest shonen of all time. I still do think that, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate other shonen anime. Dragon Ball is the most influential and the most popular anime of all time. People might even know Dragon Ball, but don't know what anime is. I do have a secret I am ashamed of about Dragon Ball. I never watched it. However, I do know the story of Dragon Ball. I experienced it through its games, and it was a fantastic experience to play my first Dragon Ball game without knowing the story, and that game is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. It's time for a hot take. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 is the greatest Dragon Ball and anime game of all time. Not Tenkaichi 3 and not Fighters. You always have a soft spot for your first after all. When you boot up the game, you are greeted with one of the best openings of all time. Luckily, the version I had was the European version, so the intro was with lyrics. I don't know why the US version didn't have the lyrics. I remember trying to sing along with the opening. Of course, I didn't know Japanese, so I was just trying to make similar sounds. Rewatching the opening 18 years later, and I am hit with a strong dose of nostalgia, and I got goosebumps. Watching the Z fighters face off against various villains, then Gogeta giving Broly a Kamehameha, then ending it with Super Saiyan 4 Goku facing Omega Shenron was just mwah. You can't tell me that you don't have goosebumps after watching that. You know what? We're going to watch it again. Fine, let's play the game. Budokai 3 is a fighting game with inputs for punching, kicking, and ki attacks. And if you put a direction input with the ki attack, then you can use a special attack like Kamehameha. From here comes the best mechanic of all time in any fighting game. Beam Struggle. If the fighters use a special attack at the same time, then you go into a beam struggle, where both fighters have to spin the analog stick as fast as possible. Entering into a beam struggle for the first time, I screamed like I was in the anime. I mean, it's so cool. Especially if two people are equally as fast at spinning the analog stick. Then it turns into a battle of who can exceed their limits first. It also looks awesome as hell. If you say otherwise, then I don't want to be friends with you. There is also attack struggle. It works the same way as beam struggle, but it is a fist fight instead of beams clashing with each other. It's also very cool, but beam struggle is just the coolest thing out there. There is also a battle of wits in the Dragon Rush. You go into a rock paper scissors like fight, where if you are the attacker, you have to press a button different from the defender to continue the Dragon Rush. If you are the defender, however, you have to press the same button as the attacker to interrupt the combo and come out with as little damage as possible. Some characters even have a special finisher to the Dragon Rush. The only way to do Final Flash is by completing the Dragon Rush with Vegeta. It gives great damage to your opponent and you look awesome doing it. If that wasn't enough, there are also ultimate attacks, the strongest attack each character has. In it, there is a bar that keeps moving and you must try to press the button at the last possible moment. If the defender wins, then the damage is reduced. But if the attacker wins, then a special cutscene plays and you give the highest amount of damage possible. Everything in the game is made to look very stylish and to make you feel as if you were actually a Saiyan fighting a battle where everything is at stake. Just talking about the game makes me want to play it more. In order to unlock everything in the game, then you must play Dragon Universe mode with every character available in it. After you choose a character, you then fly over one of the best Dragon Ball overworlds. Flying around at high speed and searching for the Dragon Balls all over the world, that is the dream for any Dragon Ball fan. Luckily, Budokai 3 can let you experience that. Flying over the earth and seeing West City, Grandpa Gohan's house, or Red Ribbon Tower, or flying over Namek and seeing Frieza's spaceship, so much care was put into the world. If you gather the 7 Dragon Balls, then after you complete the campaign, you can grant one of 3 wishes. Of course, the only one worthwhile was Breakthrough, which allows you to use every ability that character has, but it was a very nice touch. For someone who experienced the story of Dragon Ball for the first time through the game, let me tell you, it made me a fan instantly. I want to be objective about the game as well, so I will tell you the flaws. The roster isn't balanced. We would always choose either Goku or Vegeta. They were by far the strongest characters in the game with the most abilities. Just transforming to Super Saiyan 4 would make their attacks extremely strong, making the fight not a fair one. That is the only flaw I can think of for the game. Being objective to something you love is very difficult after all. Playing the game with friends and family was also an awesome time. I remember playing the World Tournament, then meeting in the finals with the main theme of the game playing in the background. It really was the battle to end all battles. Duking it out tournament style is the coolest way to do it after all. It is the only way to decide who was really the strongest Saiyan after all. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 is my favorite Dragon Ball and anime game of all time. The story mode where you fly over the world, the epic battles that would end with beam struggles, duking it out in the World Tournament, everything in the game is made to make you feel like you are a part of the world. Most people online seem to prefer Budokai Tenkaichi 3 over Budokai 3 for the fan service. And Tenkaichi 3 is an excellent game, don't get me wrong. But to me, Budokai 3 is the GOAT. Thank you for watching the video. What is your favorite Dragon Ball game? Let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe. And until next time, I have a beam struggle to do, so bye!